Boys and girls, please write your first name, last name, and date at the bottom of your Scholastic News. The New Year's Walrus. Walruses belong on big, freezing cold chunks of ice like this. But last year, a walrus named Thor spent his New Year's Eve someplace odd. Please write your first name, last name, and date at the bottom of your Scholastic News. Where did Thor go? As you read, think about why people were surprised to see Thor in their town. Every New Year's Eve, the town of Scarborough, England, has a big fireworks show. But last year, people in town canceled it. They had a surprise visitor, and they were worried the noise would scare him. The visitor was a 1,600-pound walrus named Thor. What was he doing in this town? A frozen home. Walruses live in the Arctic Circle. That's the land, ice, and water around the North Pole. Walruses spend most of the time swimming in the water, looking for food. When they need to rest, they climb onto big pieces of ice called ice floes. The walruses ride on the floes as they bob along in the ocean. Surf's up! The walruses usually stay in the Arctic Circle, but once in a while, a walrus takes a super long trip far from home. Thor's trip. Thor swam thousands of miles south from the Arctic Circle. People spotted him in France in November 2022. Then he swam back north. On December 30th, he came ashore in Scarborough. Thousands of people came to see him and take pictures. For most of the time, Thor was asleep. The townspeople decided to cancel their New Year's Eve fireworks so the noise wouldn't disturb Thor. But in the afternoon on December 31st, Thor woke up. He crawled into the ocean and swam off. People cheered. They weren't sad that they had canceled the fireworks. They were happy Thor was on his way home again. Welcome back, Thor! For 2 months, people weren't sure what had happened to Thor. But exciting news came in February 2023. People saw Thor in Iceland, not far from the Arctic Circle. Scientists knew it was Thor because of the markings on his flippers. He was almost home. Why did Thor go on his long trip? No one knows for sure. Maybe Thor just wanted to explore. By Blair Rainsford. Thor's long trip. Look at this map to follow Thor's trip back home. Key, place where Thor stopped. So this dot is a place where he stopped, and the dash is a place, the path that Thor took. So here's Iceland, that's stop number 3. Stop number 2 is England. Stop number 1 is France. Here is the Arctic Circle, and the North Pole is right there. And remember, we are on Cape Cod in the U.S., right where my pointer is. Here is a picture of Thor. That's not an ice floe, Thor. Where are you? Walruses live in groups called colonies. Have you seen Thor? Nope, me either. Shh, Thor is sleeping. There's Thor. Look at the diagram, then answer the questions. Walrus diagram. It has whiskers. They help the walrus feel things. It has 2 tusks. It hooks them on the ice to pull itself out of the water. It has 2 front flippers. It also has 2 back flippers. Its skin is very tough. It can be up to an inch thick. Question 1. What does a walrus do with its whiskers? Look back at the diagram for the word whiskers and see what the whiskers do. Does the walrus use its whiskers to swim, hook on the ice, or feel things? Question 2. What does a walrus use to pull itself out of the water? Look back at the diagram for what it uses to pull itself out of the water. Is it its skin, its tusks, or its whiskers? Question 3. How many flippers does a walrus have? Look back at the diagram to see how many flippers a walrus has. Is it none, 2, or 4? Question 4. Which word does not describe the skin of a walrus? So look back. 2 of these words describe the skin, and 1 of these words does not. Tough, blue, or thick. Which one does not describe a walrus's skin? Bonus. You read that scientists know that walrus was Thor because of his markings. Where were the markings? Draw a check on the diagram where the article said the markings were. Boys and girls, don't forget to write your first name, last name, and date at the bottom of your Scholastic News.
A swim in the Arctic. Way up in the North Pole, there is an ocean covered in ice. Some of the ice stays frozen all year long, through every season. It is one of the coldest places ever. This is the chilly Arctic Ocean. Here the waters are deep, dark, and freezing cold. Not a lot of animals can survive here, but some amazing creatures call it home. These walruses stay close to the surface of the water. They dive in the cold ocean to find something to eat. But they spend most of their time resting on ice floes. They ride these big chunks of ice along the waters. Whee! Who else can you find on these ice floes? Hawk seals. Baby hawk seals' long white fur helps to keep them warm. When they grow up, they will also have blubber. That is a thick layer of fat. No need for a coat here. Blubber helps keep the seals warm when they dive into the freezing cold waters. Walruses keep cozy with their blubber just like seals. And so do whales. There are a lot of whales swimming in the Arctic. Look, here comes a beluga whale. It dives under the ice and comes up for air to breathe. When ice gets in the way, the beluga whale can hit it with his head and break up through. Look over there. Do you see a long pointy horn? Is that a unicorn in the middle of the Arctic Ocean? No, it's another whale called a narwhal. It has a tusk. That's a long tooth. It grows out of the narwhal's head. And here's another deep diver. It's an orca. It looks like a whale, but it is actually a dolphin. A really big dolphin. And it will eat almost anything. So many animals love to swim in these chilly Arctic waters. But there is one animal you will find flying high above them. This Arctic tern swoops down to snack on the little animals that live near the surface of the ocean. Watch out, Arctic swimmers! These waters swimming through the ice is nurse, the many Arctic animals. From fern baby seals to the pickup beluga to the huge orca. The freezing Arctic Ocean sure is full of incredible animals. What animals live in the Arctic Ocean? Talk about it. See you soon.
Boys and girls, we are going to answer some WH questions. Use your issue of your Scholastic News to answer these 5 WH questions. What, where, why, when, and who? First question, what animal surprised the people of Scarborough? Make sure you use a full sentence, because if you just write the answer, that is not a full sentence. You need to have a naming part and a telling part. What animal surprised the people of Scarborough? Also, you need correct spelling. Look back in your Scholastic News. Question 2. Where do walruses usually live? Again, full sentences. Walruses usually live. Again, correct spelling, please. Question 3. What was the fireworks show? Oh, excuse me. What? Why was the fireworks show canceled? Why was the fireworks show canceled? Question 4. When? When did Thor leave the town? Question 5. Who spotted Thor after he left Scarborough? Who spotted Thor after he left Scarborough? Remember, boys and girls, use your Scholastic News for all of the answers. Use full sentences. Sentences start with capitals and end with periods. And make sure you use your Scholastic News for spelling of words. Remember to write your first name, last name, and date before you hand it into the finished work bin.